I'm Suzanne Brooks, Executive Director at Central South Carolina Habitat for Humanity. The mission of Habitat for Humanity is to provide an affordable, decent place to live for everyone. That's the basic human right, is to find safe shelter. And really, since 2020, we've only seen an increase of individuals who are looking for permanent housing. So our candidates are individuals who have never owned property before. Many of them have generationally never known what homeownership looks like. So we take a very educational approach as far as how we provide education on financing as well as homeownership. Our goal is for individuals to go into this setup for success. We take a 12 to 18 month approach working with our candidates and preparing them for homeownership and allowing them to move through the process of financial independence before they enter into their mortgage. One thing we always reassure our candidates is this is not a quick fix. So after our application meeting, we go through a financial check process where they bring all their bank statements, copies of their expenses, and we have a full understanding of their household income and expenses to know that a Habitat mortgage is affordable for them. Most individuals are paying between $800 and $1,200 a month for rent. The average Habitat mortgage is between $400 and $500 a month. So it's a very cutthroat process, but once they're admitted into the program, then they begin their financial workshops and homeownership preparedness courses. So we work with them monthly on everything from how to budget during the holidays, eating healthy on a budget, as well as Construction 101. It's part of their sweat equity. They are required to earn 300 hours of sweat equity, and part of that is going to be on the construction sites. 50 of those hours have to be put in building their own homes as well. So all the while they're leading up to that process, they're building the homes of other candidates who are in the program, and then they're working on building their own home as well. And then finally, they've reached the end of that program for them. They can work at the Restore throughout this process, so they get to really know all aspects of the Habitat program and the organization. And they receive their keys as a final dedication is what we kind of hold as a big celebration at the end of their build. And then they enter into their mortgage and become a home buyer. So the Restore is a very important part of our fundraising process. It is a thrift shop, a secondhand store that, similar to Goodwill or any of your normal local ministry nonprofits, focuses on building materials and home goods. And all the proceeds go directly into the operating expenses of Central South Carolina Habitat. Churches and congregations are integral to Habitat for Humanity's mission nationwide and internationally. We were founded here in Columbia with the partnership of 3 to 4 churches who are still partners today. The Faith Build, which started off in March of 2024, is the product of 7 congregations and networks, faith networks, who fundraise to build Lucinda's home. The rising cost of construction has made it almost impossible for any one congregation to build a home alone. So the cost is $165,000, and that does include land as well as construction. So these 7 congregations have pooled their resources, made Habitat the recipient of their seasonal giving to allow for Lucinda's house to be built. They are the sole volunteers on this project as well. So those 7 congregations are working with us throughout the next 3 to 4 months to build Lucinda's home alongside with her and her daughter, who is rightfully named Faith as well. So we look forward to hopefully dedicating her home in the summer of 2024. So one of the, I would say, challenges that Habitat for Humanity has is stating the relevance with the housing crisis that we are seeing, not just in Columbia and South Carolina, but across the country. We impact 6 to 7 families a year, which compared to many homeless shelters and rental assistance programs is a relatively smaller number. But what we don't see is behind the scenes. This is a generational impact that is affecting a family for 30, 40 plus years. Not only are they creating financial stability and independence for themselves, they're investing in an asset that will become a point of wealth for their children and for their future family members. So really measuring that impact is something that we take a lot of pride in, but also the investment that it makes into our communities, which really does go hand in hand with why I love working with Habitat for Humanity. We work to identify what means the most to the communities, which are typically the at-risk, marginalized communities that you don't see your local communities investing in. They're kind of the forgotten neighborhoods that people assume are not where you want to move your family into. That couldn't be further from the truth. It's just being able to make those resources available to them and reinstate the pride in those communities. So I'm especially proud of what Habitat does to bring pride and warmth back into some of the communities that so many homeowners love dearly and have created their roots in.